Okay, first of all, we've got to realise that each of these lines, PQ and QR and RP, are all tangents. And one of the properties of tangents to a circle, if we just draw a circle, if you have two tangents to a circle, let's do one which is there and another one which is here, where the tangents intersect, it's always true that the distance from here to here will be exactly the same as the distance from here to here. So these two tangents will be exactly the same length as far as this point here. Okay, so we've got that in several cases here. So the question says write down the length of QT. Well, that's this one here. Now we can see here we have a tangent and here we have it meeting the other tangent. So the distance from Q to T is going to be 6 centimeters, the same as the distance from Q to S. Give a reason for your answer. Basically, intersecting tangents are equal in length. So intersecting tangents are, let's say, the same length. That will do. Okay, question now says that the perimeter of the triangle is 42 centimeters, and our job is to find the size of angle PQR. Okay, so let's call that angle X. So our job is to find that angle here. Now I know that if I've got a triangle and I need to find the length of, sorry, the size of an angle within that, I can either use the sine rule or the cosine rule if it's a non-right angle triangle. Now in this case I can see I can't use the sine rule. I don't know any of the angles in the triangle, so I can't use the sine rule. I must use the cosine rule. And the cosine rule for finding an angle, let's just write this down here. So if we've got ABC, essentially if we're trying to find cosine of angle B, it's going to be A squared plus C squared minus B squared divided by 2AC. You need to know that rearrangement of the cosine rule. So in order to use the cosine rule to find the length of, to find the size of an angle in a triangle, we need to know the lengths of all three sides, because this is side B, and this is side C, and this is side, sorry, this is side A, and this is side C. So we need to know the lengths of all three sides. Now, if we look at our big triangle here, we know the length of this side is 13 centimeters. We're going to have to use this 42 centimeters to do a bit more figuring out. Now, one of the things that I can see is that the distance from P to S is the same as the distance from P to U, for the same reason as over here, for the same reason as SQ and QT. So this here is 7 centimeters. Now we know that all the way round the triangle, so the perimeter of the whole triangle is 42 centimeters. So these two add up to 12, and these two add up to 14. Right, if we add 12 and 14, that gives us 26, which means that these two, and they are both exactly the same, are going to add up to 42. If it's 42 all the way round, well, 42 take away 26, that comes out as 16, which means that these two together must add up to 16 centimeters, so each of them must be 8 centimeters. Okay, so that's giving us an area, that's giving us the perimeter of 42. Now, if I just draw the triangle again, something like this, we now have a triangle, and let's have a think about how long each of the sides are. So we're trying to find angle X, which is here. We know that across the bottom here is 6 plus 8, which is 14 centimeters. We know that this side here is going to be 6 plus the 7, which is 13 centimeters. And we know that the side which is over here is 7 plus 8, which is 15 centimeters. Okay, so let's use the cosine rule. So I know, let's label the sides. Well, it doesn't really matter whether I use A, B, or C, so let's do A, B, and C. So this is little a, this is little b, and this is little c. So we can write that cos A, so I should have used b again, doesn't really matter, is going to be b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc. Now that's going to be, in this case, b squared, well that's 14 squared, plus c squared, well that's 13 squared, minus a squared, which is 15 squared, divided by 2 times 14 times 13. Now if you work that out, that comes out as, on the top, 140. The bottom is 364. So that's the cosine of angle A. If we want to then find out what angle A actually is, we can write that A is going to be cos to the minus 1, or on your calculator, shift cos 140 over 364. If you just press the buttons on your calculator, that comes out as 67.380 So angle A, let's just check the accuracy. They want the answer to 1 decimal place. So to 1 decimal place, angle that we're looking for is 67.4 degrees.